with the exciting news that Trump is going to be opening the entire 401k pension plans, giving over $12 trillion access to the crypto markets. The big question then is the crypto markets now set to explode, giving another massive crescendo going into the end of the year? Well, for me, there is a big battle going on. On one side, a very pro-administration, including SEC, versus the headwinds of monetary policy with high interest rates and QT. Which side is going to win? And so, as always, we'll be looking at the latest price action and the current key levels to watch. Then, where are we in crypto's 4-year cycle, and is August still on track to be a great month? And then we'll finish with the biggest developments from all around the world in just the past couple of weeks, and again, there's been some massive ones. Okay, so first up, with the crypto markets nicely cooking, let's take a look at the latest price action and the key level to watch. Jumping in with Bitcoin USD on the daily, and this is what's been going on over the past couple of weeks. First, we had the breakout move leading to this top and tail here. We had sideways consolidation. Did this turn out to be a bit of a bear flag before the breakdown? And then just yesterday, a good recovery, and it's battling this line here. So for me, this is the key level to watch right now, which is around 116,000. Can Bitcoin re-establish this trading range? And if it can and hold it, float towards the top before the next breakout. If it can't, then we are going to be coming back down, retesting this level and then retesting down here. Now, one of the big things happening today is this big update between Russia and Ukraine, and Trump is now getting more heavily involved and could be putting a second round of sanctions on Russia. They've already doubled the Indian tariff rate to 50%. So probably that news today is going to determine whether we break down or break back above. Now, weirdly enough, if we just go back a little bit of time to the last breakout, then weirdly enough, this is like a mini-me pattern of exactly what happened here. Almost exactly the same. So if you follow this pattern here with this one, we had the breakout move, we had setting the high of the range, and at this point, this was the topping tail here, came back down, floated up, came back down, floated up, then it set a bottom here, which was the flush down here, then come back into range, it comes down, a little float into the big flush out here, which is what happened here, then coming back in, we've had this big candle up. And so we're pretty much just about to go into this section here. So weirdly enough, tick for tick, it's really, really similar. And if the pattern holds, then a couple more days before the next breakout move to the upside. And for me, this probably depends on the big news between Russia and Ukraine that's going to be dropping today. So that's the latest price action and the key level to watch. Now, when it comes to seasonality, we take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and what jumps out to me is just this rotation finally from Bitcoin over to Ethereum, which is the start of altcoin season. Then once Ethereum gets back to its all-time highs and breaks through nicely, people then start looking at the next cryptos down, and capital rotates. So Q1 was a correction, about 12% down for Bitcoin, but Ethereum was down 45%, but then this marked the bottom. Then obviously from Q2, Ethereum has been outperforming. Q3, 57% versus 9% for Bitcoin. And if we dig in to the Ethereum on the monthly, one of the last things we were talking about is whether August was going to be a good month or not, because normally August isn't a great month. There's more red than green. Although the average is positive, we do have a negative median. And then September was double negative. And in fact, the only double negative, oh no, June as well. So June and September being the weakest months. However, in the post-halving year, that being 2017, 2021, and now 2025, these have been positive. So as long as there's no major crippling news, then August should be a good month. And if it is a really good month, this then sets up the correction month being September. And then we move into the final quarter of potentially the blow-off top for this cycle. So very exciting times coming. In the 4-year cycle, we can see we are getting towards the end of the stage here. This was the 2017 run, 2021 run. And if we just mark this in, we can see ever since the bottom here, this has just been one big bull market, although it certainly didn't feel like it and doesn't feel like it as we're going through it. As you can see, we break above, it corrects and comes back below, we break above, and the biggest breakouts lead to the biggest corrections below, breaking above, breaking below. So it's extremely rocky, extremely turbulent, but it's only when you zoom out you can see it's a very clear uptrend for the last 3 years. Though as mentioned before, most of the time it's either going sideways or down. Most of the time it's either going sideways or down. Sideways or down. So even though the trend is up, most of the time the sick reality is that it feels like you're losing money. And then if we just add this final piece in, so if we just base this off the days from the halving, then we had the top there in 2017, the top here in 2021, split the difference down the middle, and we're now moving into this final part. And I've pretty much said now for a number of years, I would expect this to go to about a 10 to 15x from the cycle bottom. So this would give the range on the lower side of 150,000 to the higher range of 230,000 for Bitcoin. And so far, that's pretty much playing out as we move into the final quarter coming up soon. Now, one of my favorite charts recently discovered is this one by APSK, which just overlays the previous cycles onto today's price action. And if we zoom into this part here, we can see something very, very cool. So we are now in August, and strangely enough, we are pretty much exactly on this average here, this mean. So far, this is exactly where it should be. We might get another little correction, but then this also suggests that August is going to be a very strong month, maybe into September, before getting this big correction month, bottoming about the 3rd week of September. And then the big question is, are we going to be treated to an absolute explosive Q4, face melting rallies, which gets nearly everybody on planet Earth looking at the crypto market? My only big question mark is that this time around we have the headwinds of monetary policy. In the US, there are super high rates above 4%. The Fed is still doing QT. So it's a big question mark for me whether we can still achieve this with the headwinds of monetary policy. So still lots of uncertainty, but hey, that is the crypto market. We're all taking massive risk to potentially get these massive upside returns. Now, amazing that all these developments have just come through in the past couple of weeks, and there's been some great ones. eToro, the stock trading platform, is the next one to tokenize 100 of the most popular stocks, and they're choosing to build on Ethereum. So now we have eToro building on Ethereum, we have Robinhood doing the same, tokenizing on Ethereum, Coinbase tokenizing on Ethereum, and Kraken tokenizing as well. We saw PNC Bank is going to be partnering with Coinbase, as Coinbase has now created this crypto as a service, which enables banks to plug into Coinbase so people can buy, sell, and hold. And then also we saw JP Morgan doing the same as well. So this is a mega bank partnering with Coinbase. The banks getting involved. This is excellent to see for crypto, and obviously this one for Coinbase. Now, this one was a bit more speculative, but it appears from the Financial Times, they're saying that China is getting really close to launching its own stablecoin. So as we know, crypto has been banned in China, gets banned every single cycle. However, with the US creating the stablecoins pegged to the US dollar, this is game theory playing out, and if China wants to hold on to its currency, maybe it has to do the same thing. So if this ever gets launched, obviously great for crypto. We had Trump and the White House releasing the long-promised crypto report. This was by executive order a few months ago, which really outlined the administration's stance on crypto, which obviously is super bullish. This time around, instead of Gary Gensler doing everything he can from the SEC to halt and slow down and cripple crypto, we now have a super crypto bull at the SEC creating Project Crypto. So this is excellent to see, and just listen to what he recently had to say.
Today, I should like to discuss what Commissioner Peirce, Hester Peirce, and I are calling Project Crypto, which will be the SEC's North Star in aiding President Trump in his historic efforts to make America the crypto capital of the world. The SEC will not stand idly by and watch innovations develop overseas while our capital markets remain stagnant. We're at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm announcing the launch of Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on-chain. The President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets released the PWG report with clear recommendations for the SEC and other federal agencies to build a framework to maintain U.S. dominance in crypto asset markets. This report is the blueprint to make America first in blockchain and crypto technology. We will not watch from the sidelines. We will lead, we will build, and we will ensure that the next chapter of financial innovation is written right here in America.
So clearly super bullish. And then we just got treated to the amazing news that Trump's going to allow crypto in the US 401k plans, and this is a potential $12 trillion that can get access to the crypto market. And with the crypto market at only around 4 trillion itself, obviously this is going to be absolutely massive, and hopefully they can get access before the end of the year. And maybe one of the reasons why it goes absolutely parabolic in the last couple of months is that this finally goes through. With $12 trillion of pension money getting access to the crypto markets, will this cause another blow off top towards the end of the year once again? For me, the key level to watch right now for Bitcoin is around 116,000. Ethereum still is leading the charge, which is the next step for full-blown altcoin season. For me, I think Ethereum needs to get back to its all-time high before the capital then rotates further up the risk curve. If you believe the 4-year cycle is still intact, then we're getting very close to the end of the cycle, and the big figure is going to be Bitcoin chasing $200,000. And finally, amazing developments just keep coming through from a super bullish SEC to Trump giving access to $12 trillion of pension money to the crypto markets. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, hopefully the update today between Russia and Ukraine is a good one and doesn't throw a major spanner in the works. If you do have any burning questions that you must get answered, then simply use super thanks below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new Super Thanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use super thanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye for now.